Welcome back. It is Friday, November 1st in the NBA. My 5 best bets are on the way, including our first 2-unit play of the season. As always, my name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. We start the video recapping how we did the previous day. Another winning day for us, 2-1. We'll take that. Dillon Brooks over in points. That was almost a first quarter line. I think he scored 10 in the first quarter, ended up like 18 points. We appreciate him. Grizzlies plus 6.5, a half-unit winner. Sweat-free. They destroyed the Bucks, and that kind of came at the demise of our Bucks same-game parlay because Damian Lillard screwed that parlay because he was like 1 for 12. So obviously, silver lining, Grizzlies was free, but lost a half unit in that game. Overall, up about half unit, plus 0.4 units. Let's dive into today's picks. We got 5 of them. I don't have anything to promote. The only thing I do want to note, there's a good chance I add a play or two today, and so you can find those down in the pinned comment. As always, I send those early to the Dub Club, as well as I send every pick I talk about in this video early to the Dub Club, which is why you might see lines change. If you want to join, I'm still running those offers down below. 2-week free trial. If you want to join the Dub Club, get all the picks early. You can test it out for 2 weeks. If you don't like it, you can cancel it. No harm, no foul. And also, there's another one: buy 3 months, get 1 free. Carry you through the rest of the end, or a lot more of the NBA season. But you guys came in for some picks. Let's dive in. First one, best bet of the day, our 2-unit play. It is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 27.5 points. Minus 115 on Bet365 for 2 units. If you don't know what units are, standard bankroll management term. Later on in this video, you'll see us have a couple 1-unit plays. This one's my favorite pick of the day. We're doing 2 units on it. This hopefully is the first of many 2-unit plays. I always, if I'm confident and really like a play, we'll up the unit size because it's one that I really like, and I think the line's a little bit mispriced, and I think we get an edge on it. We're going to take a shot here. So 2 units, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over in points. I like it at 28.5, but I probably wouldn't play 2 units there. Probably just 1 to 1.5 units there. That's just my personal opinion. Now let's talk about Shai, who this season hasn't been great. This season he's had 28, 23, 35 and 18 points going over in 2 of 4 games. Now the volume's been there though. 24, 21, 24 and 20 field goal attempts. The problem is he's only shooting 42%. That last season he shot about 54%. Also had more free throw attempts last year than he does this year. Eventually that'll probably even it itself out. But the field goal attempts are there. He just hasn't been knocking them down. Now I do anticipate his field goal percentage to be lower this year because he's upped his 3-point volume. This season he's up to 8.3 3-pointers per game, up from 3.6 last year. So he hasn't been knocking them down. He's shooting 27% from 3 so far, but eventually those shots are going to fall. He's not a 27% 3-point shooter. I anticipate him with the higher volume be closer to like 33 to 36%, somewhere in there where he has been in his career. I think this is a great bounce back spot for him against the Blazers. The Blazers this season allowed the most mid-range field goal attempts in the NBA. It's kind of where they want you to get. They let you get into the mid-range, and while SGA hasn't been attempting a ton of mid-range shots this year, that's where he lived last year. And even if he can't get to the mid-range, I think he'll have some opportunities from the 3-point line, which he's obviously been shooting a bunch of. And we've seen him absolutely destroy the Portland Trailblazers. Here's his last 8 games versus them. I put them in numerical order, but you look at the games, 27, and then he hit the over in every single other game, 30 plus points in the large majority of those games. And he also played less than 25 minutes in 2 of those games. So you might be like, Austin, this could be a blowout tonight. And it could be. The Thunder have been involved in many blowouts this year, and you've still seen Shai with 20 or more field goal attempts in every game. And if the game, God forbid, is close for once, he could play 35, 36 minutes, maybe more, get even more volume. The only negative here is they are on a back-to-back, the front half of a back-to-back, so they do play, I think, the Clippers tomorrow. But I could see the Blazers maybe keeping this game close. They're sometimes a pesky team at home, and as I said, even if they don't keep it close and it's a blowout, someone's going to have to be making some shots, and I really think SGA, the volume is there. With no Josh Giddey, he has the ball even more. He just hasn't been knocking down his shots, and he's still over in 2 of 4 games. I love SGA tonight. Give me his over 27.5 points for 2 units, my best bet of the day. Let's try to go 2-0 on the best bets. Jason Tatum came through the first time 2 days ago. Let's hope Mr. SGA can come through today. My second play is going to go to another point guard. Another star point guard, could become an all-star this year. That's LaMelo Ball. I like his over 29.5 points plus rebounds at minus 115. Only a 1-unit play here. You could play this up to, I think, 31.5. I still like it up there. DraftKings, for whatever reason, had really high LaMelo lines compared to 29.5 for every other book. I still like it at 30.5 as well. Now, Austin, why are we taking points plus rebounds here? Why aren't we taking PRAs? Why aren't we just taking points? Well, I think this is a good matchup for him to get some rebounds. And I also like the points. Assists, Don't really get a lot of those against the Celtics. Now, the Hornets could see the return of Brandon Miller, who returns from, I believe, his calf injury tonight. I'm not too worried about him. Even if he plays, the volume is still going to be elite for LaMelo. This season, look at LaMelo's volume. 34 points, 20 field goal attempts, 8 rebounds, 34 and 5, 27 and 8, and then 19 and 3. Last game, not a great game for him. Shot 7 for 20 from the field. Did make 4 threes. He's shooting a lot of threes. So if the threes are falling, should be an easy one here. But I like this matchup for him against the Celtics. Now, the Celtics are obviously going to be a really good defensive team, which normally limits the other guys, your role players, from scoring. They don't give up a lot of catch and shoot threes. They're really good at staying home on those guys in the corners. So you don't see a lot of volume out of those guys. Instead, you see the volume funneled to your number one and maybe number two options. And obviously LaMelo Ball is the number one option here. And we've seen him absolutely destroy Boston. In his last 4 games against them, he's had 38, 30, 33, and 45 points plus rebounds. The volume is there too. Look at those field goal attempts. This should once again be another game that we see a lot of volume from him. Sure, you could argue, hey, he's getting defended by Drew Holiday. Yeah, but LaMelo Ball is not going to see Drew Holiday and run away and hide. He's going to go out there and shoot shots, and I anticipate him once again shooting a ton. We've seen the Celtics still continue to play a lot of drop coverage with Al Horford or Luke Kornet off the bench. And look, this should be a game where you see another high usage game from LaMelo. I like the rebounds stacking him on here because his points line is like 23.5, 24.5. I like throwing on the rebounds because the Celtics launch the most threes in the NBA. When you launch a lot of threes, you can make them, but you're also going to give up a lot of long rebounds, and obviously long rebounds typically go to the guards. Also, don't anticipate LaMelo guarding anyone that's high usage like Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Instead, you'll probably see him defending Drew Holiday, who's involved sometimes, but sometimes really not. So I like LaMelo. There's a big game at home. Hopefully they can keep it close against this Celtics team. And if they are keeping it close, it's probably because LaMelo is playing pretty well. Even if they don't keep it close, I still think LaMelo could go over this line. So 29.5 points plus rebounds. He could realistically hit that with just points, but I also like the rebounds on there for the reason I talked about all those 3-pointers. Now I'm going to throw it to Logan for his favorite spread pick of the day. I don't have a spread pick. I like to stick to props. If there's a spread I love, I'll let you know, but Logan's been handling the spread so far. Yesterday, a great winner with the Grizzlies. Today, he's got another underdog at home. Logan, take it away.
So for my game pick today, I'm rolling with the Atlanta Hawks plus 7.5. Minus 120 odds on BetMGM is your best value there. Now, it might be 6.5 on some of your other books, but I am buying up an extra point there. I just see a lot of value in this key number. I'll talk about that in a second, but I like backing the home underdog Hawks in this spot, and I'm only paying very slight juice on the spread there. The Hawks have lost 3 straight games, but I think that creates value kind of on this spread because in the NBA, you're going to have teams go hot and cold. I think we're kind of getting a little bit of value on a colder team that I could still see being competitive in this spot. I talked about key numbers yesterday. We can kind of touch on that again today. The top 3 most common win margins are 5, 6, and 7. So when you're picking spreads in the NBA, you got to keep that in mind. Those are the more frequent margins of victory. So if we're getting a 7.5 number, that covers all of the key numbers there. Hopefully we can the Hawks cannot lose by 8 or more points. That would be tragic. But I think the Hawks are going to be able to take on the Kings, who are on their first East Coast road game of the season. Not a great spot exactly for the Kings. With a Friday night crowd in attendance, I see this Hawks team kind of having a little bit of extra juice and motivation, not just being able to roll over and the Kings win this game by double digits. Don't see that coming. Offensively, both of these teams match up very similarly. Not a huge separation. Sacramento 9th in points per game, Atlanta 8th in points per game. Now, the Hawks defense hasn't been good, and that's kind of where, if you're kind of looking statistically, that's where the advantage is definitely for the Kings. But they are 8th best in opponents' field goal percentage, which is big because the Kings do take a lot of high percentage shots. Sacramento, 3rd best in field goal percentage per game. So hopefully the Hawks defense can just limit some of those easy points in the paint, high percentage shots. Sacramento also, last point to note, just 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games against the Hawks. I know that goes back multiple seasons, but I still think that that's not a great spot for Sacramento. On the front end of a back-to-back, we could see them kind of let their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter, not be as aggressive. All these NBA players, they know they got to save a little bit in the tank for the back-to-back. So I think this sets up pretty well for the Hawks to cover the spread tonight. I do like the Hawks plus 7.5 as my best bet of the day. Austin, throwing it back to you, though.
Hey, we've talked about those key numbers. Those are important to get those 5, 6, and 7s. I love the Hawks. No one's going to want to back the Hawks tonight. I think they could win outright. My fourth and fifth picks in the video, we're going to go to a guy that's a COS Hall of Famer. His name is Jalen Brunson, over 26.5 points, minus 113 on FanDuel. Now, before you go down below, Austin, my book does not have a Jalen Brunson line. Let me explain why. The only reason that's because Karl Anthony Towns is currently questionable with a wrist injury. Now, the only 2 bucks this morning that had a line for him, unfortunately, were just FanDuel and Fanatics. Obviously, FanDuel, one of the biggest books out there. That's why I felt comfortable giving a Jalen Brunson line at 26.5. Obviously, if Cat gets ruled out, which I don't expect, I expect Cat to play, this line will jump up to 29.5, which I still would like it there. I'll talk about why. Brunson so far for the 26.5, he's under in all 4 games this year. He's had 22, 26, 21, and 22 points. He's attempted 14, 19, 24, and 18 field goal attempts. Now, you might be like, Austin, he's under in all 4. He's washed. And maybe, sure, you can say that. But 20 points in all these games, he's been pretty close. And you have to consider the games he's played. He's had 2 games that were blowouts, Boston and Indiana. He barely played in the fourth quarter, if played there at all. He's also had 2 games, very tough matchups, Cleveland and Miami. 2 teams that just don't let you get in the paint a whole lot. And he shot 33% in both those 2 games. You guys know my system last year. You back Jalen Brunson coming off a bad game. He rarely has 2 bad games in a row. And in fact, he just had 2 bad games in a row. He rarely has 3 bad games in a row. I expect him to bounce back, and this is the perfect matchup. The Pistons are allowing the 10th most pull-up jump shots in the NBA. Last year, they're up near the top. This year, they're giving up about 2 to 3 more of those pull-up jump shots per game. Why is that important? Because it's Jalen Brunson's game. He's getting screens, or he's taking you off the dribble, and he's getting into the pull-up spot. That's where he lives. With Jalen Duran playing a bunch of drop coverage, you're going to get those opportunities in the mid-range to make those shots. This is a Pistons team that has been good defensively, but they're doing a lot of damage, trying to protect that paint. But they're giving up those pull-up mid-ranges all you want and try to protect those 3-point shooters. Look, Jalen Brunson should be able to get wherever he wants, and I think he'll be able to knock down some shots tonight. Coming off 2 games where he really struggled. I think he was shot 33% in both those last 2 games against Cleveland and Miami. This is a game I think he starts knocking down some shots. I will happily take his over 26.5 points. I hope that Cat is ruled in, because I don't think that hurts Brunson here, but it just gets you guys this line. It could drop to 25.5 if that's the case. I'm not worried. Brunson should be able to drop 30 tonight against the Pistons. And then finally, I'm wrapping up the video with a parlay. A reminder, there's a good chance we add some plays, so check down below in the pinned comment. Also be posting a bunch of NFL plays to the Dub Club. As always, you can join the Dub Club. There's just free trials, or buy 3 months, get 1 free. It's only $6 a month as is, so pretty cheap as in regards. You get what I mean. 2-leg parlay. Rudy Gobert to record a double-double, and Anthony Davis 25 points and a Lakers win at plus 350 on FanDuel. These 2 things combined. Now, I'm only playing this for a half unit to win. I think about 1.75. I like both of them individually. Rudy Gobert double-double is about plus 125. Anthony Davis player performance double, 25 points and a win for the Lakers was about plus 100. I think it was moving closer to minus 110 as I was getting ready to post the picks. This came out to plus 350. I like parlaying both of them just for a half unit. You could play each for 1 unit, but I'd rather not do that. Let's do a half unit here. Let's start with Gobert, who has a double-double in 2 of his 4 games this year, so not bad. He's taking advantage, though, of good matchups like against the Lakers and the Raptors. He's had some tough matchups against the Kings, who haven't given up a lot of shots in the restricted area. I forget who his last, and the Mavericks, two teams that have been good defending that restricted area where he does his damage. However, this is a matchup against Denver, where you're going to see them involve Jokic a lot, and you're going to see him out there a lot guarding Jokic. His last 3 games versus Denver and Jokic, to be exact, 4 points, 0 for 7, 12 rebounds, 21 and 12, and 13 and 15. Look, if Rudy Gobert goes 0 for 7 tonight, whatever. What can I do about that? I can't. He's shooting a lot of closed shots. But the reason I like this is the Nuggets this season, allowing the 5th most shots in the restricted area. That's where Rudy shoots 80% of his shots. He ain't pulling up for a fadeaway midi. And if he's making those tonight, you better believe he's getting 10 points. But I just think this is a Nuggets team. They're giving up near the most assists in the NBA. They're struggling defending the paint. I think Rudy Gobert will be down there. They'll hopefully hit him a couple times and not just take it themselves. I really think Rudy Gobert can easily get 10 points tonight. And I think the rebound should be in there. He's averaging like 21 rebound chances per game. He's needed in there to guard Jokic. And Jokic isn't shooting every shot, so he'll get some rebounds when those other guys are clanking it up, because the Denver Nuggets clank a lot of shots. So I think Rudy Gobert gets a double-double. Like I said, I like it as an individual play, like plus 120. As for Anthony Davis, I like him to get 25, and the Lakers better dang win. 80 so far this season, 36, 35, 31, 29, and 22 points. I'm okay with the 22 because we faded him last game. This one, I like the spot, though, against Toronto. Jakob Poeltl, You think he's stopping Anthony Davis? Good one. So I think you'll see them use AD a ton. JJ Redick's always trying to pick out the mismatch. Yeah, this one's pretty clear. It's going to be Anthony Davis, and Jakob Poeltl might get 6 fouls in the first quarter. So I think you'll see AD absolutely abuse this matchup. I think they'll continue to play through him. He should be able to cook this fraud Toronto Raptors team. And the Lakers better win. They're 8.5-point favorites. If we lose this parlay because the Lakers lose, that might be the last time I include a money line in one of these plays. But I like these two legs individually. I don't know. Something feels weird if I take each of them by themselves. So I'll just put them as a parlay, a little Friday parlay gift from me. So that is my favorite plays. AD 25 and a win, and then Rudy Gobert to get a double-double, plus 350. I like our chances there. Those are my 5 picks in the video. You can go back if you want to recap all of them. I will have probably some more picks down below in the pinned comment, so definitely check those out. We track those towards the record, so go check out the pinned comment. If you want to join the Dub Club, like I said, 2-week free trial at the top of the description. Also, you can buy 3 months, get 1 free. Join. We're going to have a legacy NBA season. November is going to be big for us. Go, Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, late night, tuck us in. 10 p.m. start. I'm going to stay up for that game and hopefully he cashes in the first half. That'd be cool. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.